I'm confident many of you are familiar with numerous anime TV shows and notable movie franchise centered on street racing, where there's a pervasive theme of disrespecting family legacies. That's the one I'm referring to. The idea of harnessing the collective strength of a family resonates deeply. And while in the realm of fiction it yields unforgettable moments, in reality the outcomes are, shall we say, slightly different. Despite being less inspiring, it's evident that a family's unity and collaboration can sometimes take a dark turn toward risky and dishonorable ventures. I will exploring the intriguing dynamics of 10 of the world's most influential families. What makes them truly exceptional? You are captivated by the gritty allure of gangster flicks or webs of power in Game of Thrones. Prepare for an exhilarating ride. Number 10. The Kahan Family, originating from Dublin. At initial glance, they epitomize the quintessential mafia archetype, engaging in drug trafficking, greasing the palms of local law enforcement, and wielding influence in social and political spheres. What truly distinguishes them and secures their position on this list is their ruthless demeanor. Dublin, over an extended period, has served as divided between two factions, Kahan Family and the Hodge Gang. Despite a fragile peace between them, the delicate balance shattered in September 2015 due to a seemingly minor incident that resulted in numerous casualties. Gary Hodge, a member of a Hodge Gang, divulged critical information about the Kahan family. This revelation prompted law enforcement to seize a substantial portion. Hodge paid the Kahan for their loss and thought that would be the end of it. In late September, the Kahan arranged a brutal murder of Gary Hodge. And not only that, but when the Hodge decided to square up, the Kahan reacted so strongly that a staggering 18 casualties occurred in a single violent incident. Number 9. The Moran Family. Few families have left as indelible a mark on a nation, especially one as developed as Australia, as the Morans have. What's even more intriguing is their complete lack of political involvement. So, what's the deal? It all boils down to cold-blooded murder. Over time, this family has seen a drastic reduction in numbers. And let me be clear, this decline isn't a result of strategic family planning. It's the grim outcome of their violent tendencies. They have not only lost members in gang conflicts, but disturbingly, in a manner reminiscent of Game of Thrones. Moreover, the heads of this family have gone as far as orchestrating the demise of their own kin out of fear of being dethroned. A glaring instance of this was witnessed in public when Judy Moran was accused of arranging the assassination of her brother-in-law. His offense, not a misstep in a deal or a betrayal, but announcing his decision to step away from a life of crime. This solidifies their position as a fitting choice for number 9 on this list, Camuro Family. While the notion of a crime family typically conjures images of the 1900s and the 1800s, their roots delve much further back, as far back as the 1600s. While many of the ancient families have faded into obscurity, one has not only endured but thrived stronger than before. The Camuro extended family from Italy, perhaps the progenitor of all Western mafias. What sets this individual apart different from the rest is their power structure. Unlike most crime families, the Camuro are not unified under a single leader or banner. Instead, family members typically operate as semi-independent clans, each with their own boss. By leveraging the combined power of their family alongside their highly resilient structure, these individuals epitomize lethality and are accountable for numerous deaths across Europe each month. As Vanity Fair once penned, the Camuro never sleeps and is widely acknowledged, if provoking them results in finding oneself a lifeless corpse without a traceable culprit. The fact that their influence extends from Italy to encompass all of Europe, North Africa, and even operations in North and South America is bound to evoke discomfort. Number 7. The Addams Family. With the undeniably powerful bond between Gomez and Morticia, the strength of Lurch and the cunning of Wednesday, the Addams are forced to be reckoned with. While they might not indulge in heavy makeup, one thing the family certainly doesn't disappoint in is their proclivity for blush. Revered as the kingpins of crime throughout the UK, Terry Adams and his clan have enforced an extraordinary ruthless reign over Britain. They don't merely sit as figureheads, they actively engage, orchestrating numerous murders with their homeland and conducting even deadlier operations abroad. The Addams epitomize an untouchable force, with their leaders openly issuing threats while walking freely without consequences. Number 6. The Genos Family. No exploration of crime families would be complete without delving into the gritty underworld of New York's mafia. And let me tell you, it's iconic as it gets. Among the oldest and most formidable of New York's notorious create Big Five crime syndicates. The Genovese crime family, named after his boss Vito Genovese, may not flaunt a high public profile it once enjoyed, but don't mistake the lower public profile for weakness. To this day, the family boasts one of the most efficient and fearsome operations in the city. The level of secrecy is so high that many of their own members aren't aware they are in the employ of America's crime lord. Number 5. The Sinaloa Cartel. Shifting gears to tropes traditionally associated with the notion of flawless crime family, where the Genovese mafia may have shed some of its finest suits and glamour, the Sinaloa Cartel had retained every ounce of the potency and power of its predecessors. This cartel reigns as the most formidable and dreaded drug trafficking organization across numerous Central American nations, the United States, parts of Europe, and even Australia. While we have largely discussed families responsible for a few dozen casualties over their existence, the Sinaloa Cartel has been known to effortlessly claim nearly 50 lives in a single gang skirmish. Number 4. The Koch family. Thus far, our focus has been on families wielding power through violence and bloodshed. Now, allow me to introduce you to an entirely different branch of deadly influence: money. And no family better illustrates the sheer effectiveness of playing cash than the Koch family from the United States, commanding the largest private corporation globally with a net worth exceeding $120 billion. The Kochs are an empire in all but name. They may not bear direct responsibility for any bloodshed. They utilization of by their immense wealth. They wielded influence over international politics for personal gain, obstructed efforts against climate change, manufactured controversies to divert attention from issues surrounding the oil empire, bankrolled violent politicians for personal gain. Given their fervent opposition to climate reform and their reputation for destroying the lives of dissenters, one could argue that every death caused as a result of climate change will be on their hands. Number 3. The Kim family. Even if I were to prompt you to envision a tyrant so ruthless that he bordered on caricature, you still wouldn't capture the essence of Kim Jong-un, and with his father and grandfather before him, contributing to one of the world's most totalitarian and brutal governments, one responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands. The Kim family undoubtedly earns a place among the most blood-stained in history. Number 2. The Rothschild. Before diving into conspiracy theories, let's clarify. I don't subscribe to the idea that the Rothschild secretly control the world. It's undeniable that their centuries-old fortune, worth hundreds of billions of dollars, has wielded significant influence over history, from financing both sides of conflicts, enabling unimaginable deaths and suffering, to executing swift and ruthless, suppressing any potential competition before it can challenge the dominance. The sheer magnitude of human and infrastructure devastation caused by the lending practices alone is sufficient to label them the most perilous family globally. Number 1. The Bean family. Topping our list is a family you likely haven't heard of, and for good reason. Unlike the other families mentioned in this list, the Bean family's atrocities were so reprehensible and appalling that the entire lineage was eradicated. Every member faced the ultimate punishment: death. Now, what exactly did the Bean family do to warrant such extreme measures? The Bean family was a clan of cannibals spawned from incestuous relations, residing in the hills of East Lothian in Scotland during the 16th century. The family's origins can be traced back to Sonny Bean. Sonny Bean and his wife, Black Agnes Douglas. With each generation, the family expanded through incest, ultimately swelling to over 48 members during their 25 years reign in the hills. Unfortunate travelers passing near the hills fell victim to the clutches of the Bean family, becoming prey for their cannibalistic appetites. This reign of horror persisted until the entire family met their fate, sentenced to death and executed near the end of 16th century by royal decree, alongside a 400-man search party dispatched to the area. The entire family met their demise through burning, as the remains of their victims were laid to rest. I hope you found today's video informative, and if you did, please consider leaving a like and subscribing for more content. Until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next video.